what happens then if on November 4th that policy still hasn't changed, and there are these 100,000 votes in Michigan that could decide the election? What would you tell your voters? Would you tell them not to vote for Kamala Harris? Is that an option for you? Is that a card that you are willing to play with?
What I know for certain is that as Arab Americans, as Muslim Americans, on our own in this country, unfortunately, we do not yet have the political power to stop an actual genocide. That is a very horrific reality that I go to sleep thinking about. Okay, we are not a movement that itself, on its own, will change the policy in this country. We are a movement that is part of a larger coalition of groups that increasingly is on our side about this. And so, what I don't want, and what I think would be destructive, would be for us to go out and say it would be okay if it were Donald Trump, because as long as it's the Democrats learn a lesson, then that will be enough. I think that would be disastrous. If Donald Trump comes, I'm studying what Donald Trump has planned for our movement, trying to save lives. Donald Trump wants to deport protesters on college campuses, not to mention brutalize them and unleash military or police force against them. Donald Trump and the Republicans have specific plans for how to go after any organization in the United States that's working on Palestinian human rights and trying to take away their nonprofit status. And not just that, go after the organization that's funding them to do that work and take away their nonprofit status too. Not to mention what Donald Trump has planned for Gaza and for the West Bank. His son-in-law is fantasizing about $1 million condos on Gaza Beach. He's taking contributions from people who want the full annexation of the West Bank. So I'm sitting with all of that, and I'm sitting with my uncle calling me from South Lebanon saying, Abbas, do they know over there? Is America clear that if Donald Trump comes, that he will greenlight Netanyahu to just do whatever you want with these people? So I am not willing to take on a position that the important thing is that Democrats are punished. The reality is the only people who will be punished, not the only people, but among those who will be punished disproportionately are our own family members who live in Gaza and in the West Bank and in southern Lebanon if Donald Trump becomes president. So for me, what that leaves us with is we have to engage in the nuanced conversations with our community about what our options will be.